Hey there guys, what is going on? So on this video, we're going to go over how to contact distributors, suppliers, and things to say, not to say, some things to keep in mind of when you're contacting these suppliers, and just basically everything else in between, because this seems to be one of the most common problems with Amazon sellers is being able to contact, wholesalers and open accounts and everything else. So hopefully after this video, you guys come out with better knowledge on how to open accounts. Now keep in mind, none of these are 100% guaranteed to open your account, but they do increase the chances of you getting accounts open. So, and that's basically what you want, right? Because opening accounts is really a numbers game. 99 of them will probably tell you no until you get to that last 101 that will tell you yes. Now, it really depends, but yeah, so remember, it's just a numbers game, and let's get straight into the video without wasting any more time. Now, one of the biggest reasons why it's harder for Amazon sellers to open a wholesale account when they're first starting to get into wholesale is that they come as, too newbie, too much beginner vibes on them. Suppliers know when you're a much more established business versus when you're just starting out, and then they're just like, man, who the hell this guy is? Like, you're not serious in any way. We don't know if you're serious. And so they're not going to open that account with you. And that's one of the biggest things too, right? Is that keep in mind, these are businesses, guys. These are businesses trying to sell to real, legitimate, serious businesses. And if you come out, as a newbie, telling them from the get-go, hey, I'm an Amazon seller and I want to open an account with you, they're not going to take you serious, okay? Because for one, they don't know if you're going to continue buying from them in general. And number two, some of them have brand products that they may not be allowed to sell to you because of that specific reason. And so, like I said, you want to take yourself as serious up front, and you want to seem like you know what you're doing. And so here are a few things that can help increase your chances when it comes to contacting suppliers. So, one of the first few things you definitely want on hand is you want to make sure you have your EIN number on hand. You want to make sure if you're going to call them up or if you're going to email them, you want to also have your reseller's permit on hand ready to go. And especially if you're sending out an email, reaching out to a supplier, make sure you're attaching that reseller's permit on that email so that they know from the get-go that you have a serious business, you know what you're doing, you know what they're asking for or they're going to ask for, and, just stuff like that, okay? Don't want to present yourself as a newbie. Now, when on the phone, keep it simple, okay? Pick up the phone and simply be like, hello, may I speak to whoever's in charge of opening a wholesale account? Short and simple. Don't take too long. You don't need to drag it out, like a whole 10-minute conversation just to get someone's, notice or whatever. Once after that happens, they'll either contact you with the right person or it'll be that same person right away. And so from there, you can just be like, hello, my name is Oscar. I am the owner of such and such company. We own a large distribution network and we sell on multiple platforms such as Amazon, eBay, Walmart, and we even have our own website as well. And for the past few months, we have done, 7 figures in revenue and looking to increase our business, hopefully with you in the future. Just something like that, short and simple, but give details of, how your business is ran. And then afterwards, you can be like, what are the next steps that I need to take in order to open a wholesale account? We have a reseller's permit on hand if needed that we can email to you or fax to you or, however they accept that. And, so just like that, then they're going to be like, oh, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy knows the business. He knows what we're going to require as far as the documents and whatnot. And so, that'll increase your chances right there because they don't see you as just an Amazon seller. And if they do ask about Amazon, even if you don't mention it up front, then just be honest about it and be like, yes, that is one of our platforms that we do sell on, but it is not, a major thing compared to all the other platforms that you guys are running, right, technically. And hopefully increase your chance of basically opening an account. Now, another thing that you may want to add in there up front, and especially if you know what products or brands you're actually looking for to open an account with, like let's say McCormick brand or I don't know, like Native brand or something. I mean, just some random brands, right, that I'm popping out from the top of my head. One thing you can also do is be like, we're looking for such and such products. We're looking for this exact product. Or do you carry this product? we're wondering if we can buy this certain product in bulk. And that right there, it helps them identify, exactly what product you're looking for. You're basically doing some of the work for them already, but they see that you're serious about buying this certain product, this certain brand in particular. And from there, they'll be like, yeah, we do carry this brand, we do have these products, or no, we don't have these products, but we do carry the brand. And then you can go on from there. And so, that right there, though, takes you more serious too, because then to them, they're like, okay, this guy knows exactly what he's looking for, right? Like, he knows what products he wants. He already knows what he wants to buy. And so like that kind of increases your chances as well, because then you're seen more serious, right? And again, guys, it goes back all to looking just serious with your business. Okay, these suppliers, they need to take you serious, and because if they don't see you taking it serious, and they don't know for a fact that if you're going to come back and make more purchase orders, then they're not going to want to open those accounts with you. And so they're not going to want to do business with you either. And so that's why doing all of this, saying some stuff like this, will increase your chances. Now, again, that's just some of the do's that you should be doing when contacting these suppliers. Now, a few don'ts that you obviously don't want to do when trying to reach out to suppliers, which a lot of people make mistakes, even myself too. Number one, obviously, you don't want to come out as an Amazon seller. I mean, we covered that already earlier, but it's important that you, like I said, don't be dishonest about it either, but don't mention it up front if you don't have to either, okay? Just like I said, make sure you come out as a big distribution network, that you work in multiple platforms. And if the conversation happens to come up that if you sell on Amazon, then you can be honest about it from there. Okay, you never want to lie about that, because eventually they will catch on. Eventually they will, maybe check on Amazon themselves and see who's selling these brands or products. And so you want to be straight up honest with them about it. And, because you don't want to break that relationship, okay? You want to keep that relationship from the beginning and just on a clean slate. And, lying about it doesn't get you nowhere. Now, another mistake that some sellers may make is that they may ask for discounts up front. And that's the thing, man. Like, like you don't even know the supplier. You haven't even opened an account, and yet you're already asking for discounts. Meanwhile, they have other people that they're working with, other potential sellers that they've been with them for years, and they've been putting in work, putting in orders, building up that relationship. And so asking for a discount up front is honestly not really such a good idea, because again, you haven't put in that time to build up that relationship. And so you need to put in that time to build up that relationship, so that down the road, then maybe you can definitely consider a discount, assuming that they could offer you one, okay? Because again, at the same time, you got to keep in mind, this is kind of a people's game too, right? So you want to make sure you start building up that relationship with that supplier. You want to make sure that you can, call them once a week, call them every 2 weeks, even place an order, and just basically get to know them, ask them about their, every day outside of their work. Do they have kids? Do they have, outside family that they visit? What are their hobbies, their sports, or anything like that? Favorite TV shows. So, asking for discounts up front is just not a good idea, like I said. But once you build up that relationship and you finally get that one-on-one built relationship together, then you can definitely look for discounts down the road. But asking for them up front, man, it's just, I don't know, it's tedious, man. Like, well, I'm going to give you something right away if I don't know if I'm going to be, in business long term with you. So just something to think about, because I know some sellers will ask for discounts up front, and it's just crazy, man. Like, please don't, not right away, unless you're coming in with like hundreds of thousands of dollars on inventory from the get-go. Yeah, I really wouldn't advise doing this. Now, also, don't be wasting their time either, right? Respect their time, because they do have other clients that they have to deal with and talk to and place orders with, okay? So if you don't have the type of capital that they're going to require of you, then you just simply say, hey, or you can reach the minimum quantity that they may ask you to buy. Let's say maybe 1,000 units or 500 units, whatever that amount may be, but that let you know up front. Then maybe just be like, okay, maybe not right now, maybe we'll come back at a different time or something, okay? Don't be trying to waste their time by sending you a catalog if you know you can't afford to basically buy some of their catalog, okay? Because then at the end of the day, it just looks like you're not really serious about this business, that you don't even have the capital to continue the business relationship forward. So just keep that in mind, okay? Be respectful of their time. Don't waste theirs, and especially don't waste yours, okay? If you know you can't afford some of these suppliers, don't even bother. I've had a supplier before that I wanted to reach out to, but their minimum quantity is $15,000 a week. that you need to purchase, which is like about $60,000 worth of inventory. At that time, and I didn't basically, I didn't have that type of capital, so there was no way I was gonna work with that supplier. And so I just simply, saved it and hopefully came down back to it down the road, which I still haven't just yet. But yeah, just be respectful of their time. Don't waste it. And yeah, just be respectful, right? Simple as that. Now with brands, now I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but it's easier to contact distributors versus with brands. And so with distributors, they want to move volume. They really don't trip too much about the products that they sell to you unless specifically told by their particular brand. And so it's much easier with distributors. Now with, brands, it's a much harder game because they come from the mindset of that they actually have, attachments to their brands, to their products. And so to them, they just don't want to sell to just anybody, especially not just an Amazon seller, right? Like, why would they just want to sell it to you when you start lowering their pricing, damaging their reputation as a brand? With brands, and that's why it's more difficult to open accounts with brands, guys, okay? Because they want to make sure that the people that they can trust these products to have, hold their standards online and their reputation, okay? They don't want people coming in, putting up weak listings, tanking their prices, because they have certain minimum met prices, okay? And so that's the thing with brands, it's much harder. And with brands, even if they tell you no up front right away, that doesn't mean a no forever either, right? So maybe call them back a month from then, maybe something changed. Maybe you caught someone at a bad timing, they were having a bad day, and that's what they told you no. But maybe a month later, they tell you yes, right? But it might not happen that quick, if I'm being honest. But yeah, just keep trying. And then if still no, a month later again, and then try another month, 2 months, whatever it may be. With brands, it can take time to really get an account open, okay? And with brands as well, you definitely want to come up with some, with some value. You don't want to just be like, oh, hey, I'm an Amazon seller, can I open an account with you? No, that's not going to work out. Something you can do up front before you, pick up the phone and try to open an account is basically do some research online on their particular products. Look at some of these listings, see if you see anything out of the ordinary. Maybe some sellers have a lot of negative reviews for their products, but they haven't bothered to remove them. Maybe some products have terrible imaging, the quality is very low, or the listing description is very simple and nothing, extraordinary. And so that's something you can bring up to their brands before you contact them, is like, hey, I noticed that this particular product has some terrible imaging. This product over here has bad reviews that nobody has bothered to take off. And just little stuff like that you can add value to. And so like that, it'll show their brands like, okay, this person has done their homework. They care. We may want to consider this person to be one of our, legitimate suppliers that we can trust with our brand. And so you definitely want to do some upwork front like that. Now, it doesn't guarantee that you're always going to open an account right away, but it does increase your chances, and it does keep you in mind in the back of their heads should, an opportunity rise for them to open an account with someone, and maybe they end up choosing you just because you provided that value, okay? So just keep that in mind. But at the end of the day, brands are very, very difficult, which is why I always advise people try to do distributors first, because it's much, much easier. But if you need to go and tackle brands first, or you want to go ahead, then yeah, these are a few things you could definitely do to hopefully give you better advantages over what your competition is doing, which is just trying to open an account. All right, but yeah, like I said, these are just a few tips on how to increase your chances of opening wholesale accounts. Again, they're not 100% efficient, but they do increase your chances. But without further ado, I do want to cut it off because time is going up a little bit much on this video than I anticipated. So I don't want to waste more of your time. But like I said, hopefully this video does help. I hope you guys increase your chances of opening wholesale accounts. And as always, guys, I will see you on the next video. So peace, and I'm out.